Hello everyone. I don't even know really what to call this video, but what I was going to record has actually changed in the last 24 hours, which is interesting. This was not going to be a rant video at all. This involves what YouTube is calling the YouTube algorithm for flagging videos, whether it be not suitable for most advertisers. It was going to be a huge shout out, thank you, and it still is, to the YouTube department that is reviewing videos that have been flagged for this reduced or no ads from the, again, what they call the algorithm. I'll get into why I'm saying what they call later on, if you stick around for that part of the video. Now, I'm doing this off the cuff, so it's going to be a little bit disjointed. I prefer doing stuff off the cuff, so I apologize if you're not used to that. Now, a little bit of a backstory of, well, anybody who's a content creator has almost talked about this, and drop in revenue and the adpocalypse and the adpocalypse 2.0 and things like this. And it has to do now with the implementation of YouTube's, what they call algorithm. Sorry, I want to talk about that in the algorithm, and what they're using for it, but not yet. I need to stay focused here. Now, the last several weeks, nearly 100% of my videos were getting flagged by this. Several weeks. It is, what's the date today? I have no idea. Phone, can you tell me what the date is? Not easily, apparently. It's the 2nd. Actually, I could have looked here. Silly me. November 2nd. Previous Friday, there was a update to the so-called algorithm, and things have started to change. This week, I started to do an experiment. I didn't know about the upload until after I started this experiment, where I was changing tags. I have videos here that have 0 tags on them in terms of search. And then I had an upsetting a few videos that have 1 tag. I was trying to narrow down what word was being I'm not even going to say unfairly targeted, because the so-called algorithm is not a conscience. It's just a bunch of lines of code, and it's doing what it's told. But the word seemed to be transgender. Now, on my channel, I started to put the tag transgender in all of my videos because I'm a transgender woman. And now, what I'm about to say applies to every single group there is in the world. Whether it be the transgender group or LGBTQ plus etc. groups, or homesteading groups or whatever. There are times when people want to hear from people within their community. It doesn't matter about the content, but they want to hear from the same kind of people as them. So even though my channel is nothing but Let's Plays, I felt that, you know what? Let's let my community know that, hey, there is another trans woman here, and she is doing video games. So that's my reasoning behind why I started to put transgender into my videos. The tag section. To me, it makes sense. I mean, I also put the tag female because there are people who wish to watch female Let's Players, and gamer and player, things like that. So but transgender seemed to be targeted. From what I could tell, and targeted is not the right word. Transgender seemed to be one of the words or possible instances where the algorithm goes, this is potentially not safe. Whether that is correct or incorrect, that's not what we're talking about. But because the algorithm is unable to distinguish context, is unable to distinguish, all that kind of stuff. It just follows its code, follows what it's been implemented with. You have to excuse me, I'm actually a little sick and under the weather. 1 second. A little bit of water helps. For talking, not as good as tea though. Jeez. Anyways. Now, that's why I'm not angry with this. And here's the thing. If you look at my numbers for views here, you can see my channel is minuscule. It is tiny. It doesn't get a lot of traffic here. It doesn't. That's okay. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about what YouTube is doing to my channel or not doing to my channel, except for this aspect right here, this yellow tag of reduced or no ads. Like, why? Now, what is important, and I'm going to do a huge shout out to the YouTube staff, and I'll point out why here, who do review videos. Now, I saved this one, okay? So we can walk through it. Request a review. Limited or no ads. Your video remains fully playable and is eligible to earn subscription revenue from YouTube Red. Or possibly if a banner shows up, because that's going to be the lowest tier. Maybe that's acceptable or whatever. So maybe that will show up as an ad. The lowest tier, as opposed to, say, the biggest companies out there where you would get the biggest cut of possible revenue. Now, monetize with ads. I'm going to request a review. Right now, we are only able to review videos with at least 1,000 views in the past 7 days. That will never happen for my channel. Well, at least currently. I mean, if I was to get 20,000, 30,000 subscribers, I'm under 200. But 20 or 30,000, I can probably do 1,000 views in a day. In 7 days. We will review your video when it reaches the threshold. Final decision, usually within a week. Submit for review. Unless if it's going to bug out. Nope, okay, because sometimes it doesn't click over. Now, even though it says here that it's not eligible, and that's for all my videos, okay? That's for every single one I've ever put up. It doesn't meet this requirement. However, let's go back. That's the only one here. Now, I can show you, there was a video, like, this is why I'm doing this. I'm breaking it down to the YouTube people who took the time to review someone's videos who do not meet the requirements. Now, let's see. Oh, it's this one here. It's not up there. Okay. Limited or no ads. Right here. RimWorld Stream number 19, Alpha 17 version of the game. This is on here because it was limited to no ads. I clicked on the review, it was reviewed, and it was set back to monetized. To the YouTube staff who are taking a look at some videos who do not meet the requirements, hopefully this won't redline things, you deserve a standing ovation. Thank you. Thank you for making at least myself feel like a part of the community. And thank you for recognizing that there isn't anything wrong with what I believe to be that tag transgender in the context of my videos. So thank you very much. Now, got a little teary-eyed there. Oh no, let me go into edit here. Okay. Now what I want to show is these are the tags that I put for the RimWorld. You got Let's Play, LP, RimWorld, Indie, Survival, Builder, Sci-Fi, PC, Game, Female, Gamer, Player, Transgender. So none of these tags should flag it. And I put PC, Game, Female, Gamer, Player, Transgender on all my videos. Oh, and Let's Play and LP. The rest are specific to the individual game. Another stream. I think our tortoise force is almost ready. Seriously, I'm building a tortoise army, but that's irrelevant. So, like, there's nothing here that would be, I believe, offensive to companies who would like to place their ads on these videos. And the only commonality between every single video I put up would be LP, Let's Play, and then this section down here, right? Well, okay. Then that kind of left things with transgender, because I eliminated everything else. I did tests. I did tests that have no tags. And I did tests that had just transgender. And it got flagged. That's okay. Because even though it's frustrating, you saw how quick it is to do an appeal, to plug it in. Right? 0 views, now 2. That's just from me going in. I hate that. Anyways, so can't get mad at the algorithm. So-called algorithm. Because it's not sentient. And getting mad doesn't solve anything. So over time, like I was appealing all of these. I was winning every single appeal. I wanted to know what's going on. And so I started running the experiment. Let's see, I believe this one, is it this one that has no tags? No tags. And this one did not get flagged. The previous one, I do believe 119 did get flagged. No, 119 does have tags. I mean, it did. This one did get flagged, but I didn't put down transgender. No, it didn't get flagged. Oh my god, I'm getting all confused. Oops, wrong one. Anyways, the whole point of this is to bring light to the algorithm. It was flagging like everything of mine. The amazing people were reviewing my videos, even though I did not meet the requirements. Again, standing ovation. Thank you very, very much. And successful on every single appeal. And then things started to change where last 2 or 3 days I had like one flag. Actually, 2. Sorry. The RimWorld one did take a while, but now it appears that transgender is an okay tag to the algorithm, which means that their learning algorithm is learning. Now here is where I'm going to go into something that my husband and I talked about. My husband is a computer scientist and a software engineer. This is what he went to school for. Now his belief is that this is, by definition, this is not an algorithm that is being used. Instead, it is a neural net. And neural nets are known to be unreliable, unstable kind of things. The difference between the two, one's more complex than the other. More or less. That's a really down and dirty, and anybody who actually knows a solid definition would probably yell at me for saying that, but really it's just kind of that. Now also, the word algorithm is now a buzzword, that businesses will use when it may not actually be by computer scientists an actual algorithm. It could be something else. So the way that things are implemented, the way that things seem to be going, my husband believes that this is a neural net, or multiple neural nets, since YouTube is so big. Okay. Now, the other kind of misleading thing is they said a learning algorithm. Okay? When you think of learning, it's kind of like, okay, you look in a textbook or you watch a documentary or something like that, and you learn something that you didn't know before, and it's now part of your knowledge base. That's not the case here. For a neural net, or for that matter, I believe an algorithm, an actual algorithm, its learning is somebody, picture this, you got your program, your neural net, and somebody takes the time to create a whole bunch of textbooks. Your neural net is blank. It has no experience. You then take these textbooks of what you want it to know at the time, at the start of this process, and you go, well, here's one, and here's one, and here's one, and here's one. Now, that neural net has, quote-unquote, learned. And then they would implement it and put it in the system. And it will do whatever it's meant to do. In this case, to try and flag videos that are not suitable for advertisers. We can take an extreme example of an ISIS recruiting video. Okay, that would just be weird, but an ISIS recruiting video on YouTube. That won't be ad friendly. It'll get flagged. Actually, it'll probably be deleted, to tell you the truth. But anyways, you get the point. Now, as it's going, okay, it is not learning new things at this point. It's just following its code. It also cannot understand context, and that's important. Okay? So context is critical. Now we go into the how this past Friday they did the update. That is its second round of learning from all the data collected from the past 3 months when it was implemented. I think it's been 3 months. Plus the information gathered from people submitting reviews to videos that were flagged, either falsely flagged by some kind of a mistake, or that the coding in the neural net says that this is a correct one and it needs to be flagged. So there's a few different kinds of divisions going on there. But with that information, they create new textbooks to go feed the neural net. It is updated, and then things will change. Now, this is interesting. This is really, really interesting that my husband told me. When YouTube says that this update should reduce by 30% the number of false flags, okay? It may very well be doing that. However, what they can't guarantee, based on the neural net, how it works and everything, and the update with the new textbooks of information, right? They cannot say equivocally that all the previous ones that were not flagged will continue to be not flagged. Because, one, it is possible that some of those videos should have been flagged and weren't, so they're now getting flagged. And two, and this is cool, it kind of undoes some previous things. So this is going to be this is a growth. This is actually an improvement to the way that the algorithm was working, okay? The way that neural net was working with this. And I'm not speaking of my channel, I'm speaking of in general. It appears to be working. However, they are using something that one can consider to be unstable. So it's going to take a lot of time, possibly years, to get this to say where it is 70 or 80% accurate, where the appeals would be denied. But it'll take time. And what we as a community of content creators do need to remember, and this is critical, okay? YouTube, in this case, is actually doing a good job. I honestly cannot believe that they took the time to look at my tiny channel and include the data that I was providing to help things along. So we need to be vigilant as creators to always appeal. We need to be understanding that the algorithm is not a sentient thing and does not learn from day to day. It learns when it gets a new batch of textbooks, if you will. And that's how it's learning. And those textbooks are coming from its flagging experience, which the YouTube engineers, or whatever their title may be, for this, creating the textbooks can use. and the appeal process. It's slow, it's painful, but I do have to give YouTube a thumbs up and a thank you for actually moving forward, even though on the surface it looks like we're moving backwards in the content creators, but it's just going to be really freaking painful. Hopefully we will have the patience just to keep going and that things will continue to improve. We just have to remember to be vigilant. And one of the most important things is maybe once a week. You're a content creator, you're tiny, you're large, you're the biggest ones there. Check. Limited or no ads. Are there any new ones here? Yes, no? Yes, okay, appeal. Who cares if it gets approved or not? At this point, as content creators, we need to act as a community. We need to help strengthen our community. And by doing that, we need to work within the system that is currently provided. And YouTube is at a slow pace, because this is a slow process, is working with us. There's not much more to say. We just need to keep going at this. We need to keep trying. We need to keep getting that review requested. And I know as the larger YouTubers who use this as a full-time living, your revenue, your income has dropped, and you got bills and things like that. I get it. I understand. I'm 42 years old. I got bills. I got debts. I don't make any money from this. I get a few pennies a month. I've never received a check in 4 years of doing this. But this is how we fix it. And this is how we get to a point down the road where we're not hurting as bad. This is how we get a more stable platform. As this is the biggest platform, this is the one that we should be trying to, since we're here, we should be trying to fix up. But at the same time, diversify your revenue if you haven't yet. Look at merchandise. Look at doing Patreon or an equivalent. Look at streaming, whether you choose YouTube, Twitch, or one of the others. Look at those. Go for it. See what's happening. See if you can diversify your income and get a more stable salary base, if you will, than just based off of ad revenue. That is the best that we can do. And as a business, it's wise. It's safer. Not all eggs, one basket, that thing. Anyways, I'm going on and on here. Now, I will continue making videos. As these come up, I will continue to appeal a review request. And hopefully they will find the time to review my tiny videos, and I can continue to make a positive impact on the neural net. Not an algorithm. Anyways, yes, let's wrap it up. So, I do hope you found this video informative, at least on some level, and that you can take away that YouTube staff are doing really good. The what they call the YouTube algorithm is not an evil entity. It's just a kind of unstable thing, an unreliable thing that hopefully in time will get better. But part of that has to come from us. Now I'm going to wrap it up before we hit 30 minutes. Please do be safe, everyone, and I hope you enjoy your day. Goodbye.